What happens to our body if we stay awake for one night? You have probably had at least one day when you stayed awake until morning, maybe because of an exam, maybe because you said just one last video on your phone and suddenly realized that the sun had risen. And when morning comes, your eyes burn, and your brain feels as if it is working a little slower. Even focusing on something simple becomes difficult. But what is happening to your body at that moment is not just, "I feel sleepy." Your brain and your body are beginning to seriously lose their normal rhythm. So what exactly happens to our body if we do not sleep at all for one night? First of all, we need to understand something. Sleep is not a period when the body completely shuts down. On the contrary, while you are sleeping, your brain and your body continue to work quite actively. The brain processes the information you learned during the day, strengthens some memories, and helps the body recover. So sleep is not just rest. It is, in a way, the brain's night shift. And when you do not sleep, that shift is disrupted. Let's say you did not sleep at all for one night. In the early hours of the morning, you will probably just feel tired. But your brain has already begun to be affected. It becomes harder to concentrate. You read something, but a few seconds later, you forget what you read. Even simple decisions can feel more difficult than usual. This is because the parts of your brain that play an important role in attention and decision-making cannot work as efficiently when they do not get enough rest. So if you find yourself thinking, "Why am I like this today?" When you are sleep-deprived, that is completely normal because your brain may really not be working at its normal capacity. Another problem is your reaction time. When you are sleep-deprived, communication between your brain and your body slows down. This may seem like a small thing in everyday life, but it can make a serious difference when driving or in a situation where you need to react quickly. What's more, sleep-deprived people sometimes may not even realize how tired they actually are. The brain does not always accurately evaluate the decline in its own performance. So you may feel perfectly fine, but your brain may not agree. What about emotions? Why does everything become more annoying when you are sleep-deprived? Something that you normally would not care much about can suddenly make you extremely angry. This can happen because the balance between the parts of the brain that control emotions and the parts that help us make rational decisions can be disrupted. In short, when you are sleep-deprived, it can become harder to turn down the volume of your emotions. That is why feeling more irritable, more sensitive, or more stressed after getting very little sleep is not surprising. But perhaps the most interesting part happens inside the brain itself. While you are sleeping, your brain uses processes that help remove some of the waste products that build up during the day. During sleep, the movement of fluid around the brain is thought to contribute to the removal of some waste products. So while you sleep, your brain is not simply waiting. In a way, it is performing maintenance. Imagine trying to run your computer for months without ever turning it off. It would not be surprising if it started to slow down after a while. Our brains are not computers, but in a similar way, they need time to recover after working constantly, and sleep helps the brain recover. But what happens if we stay awake for longer than one night? As sleep deprivation continues, the problems can increase as well. Attention and memory can be affected even more. Thinking can become more difficult. More serious effects, such as seeing or hearing things that are not actually there, can occur. The body's immune system can also be negatively affected when you do not get enough sleep. This is because sleep plays an important role in helping the body regulate itself and in keeping many biological processes working properly. In addition, Hormones that affect appetite and energy balance can also be affected by sleep deprivation. That is why it is possible to feel like eating more or to constantly feel low on energy during periods when you are not getting enough sleep. So why do we need sleep so much? Because the human body is designed not only to work, but also to recover regularly. Throughout the day, our brain collects information, our body moves, we experience stress, we make decisions, we experience emotions. Sleep is the time when the brain and the body reorganize themselves after all of this. That is why sleep is not time wasted. In fact, sleep is one of the most important things you can do to function properly the next day. So the next time you are still looking at your phone at 3 in the morning, you might ask yourself, do I really want to keep watching this video? Because when morning comes, you may not just feel sleepy. Your brain may work more slowly. Your attention may decrease. It may become harder to control your emotions. And your body may not have completed part of the recovery process it was supposed to carry out during the night. Sometimes the most productive thing is not working harder. It is simply sleeping, because even while you sleep, your brain continues to work. Just this time, it works for you.